Hi, my name is Dr. Kaye Sweetser from San Diego State University, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the RPIE process today, and specifically the R in RPIE, research. Research is so important that it actually represents two places in the four-step public relations process. If you think about what RPIE stands for, research, planning, implementation, and evaluation, you see that the research idea actually become the bookends of a proper public relations campaign. So you have research as the first step and evaluation as the last step to tie it all up. It's so important it happens twice. So at the formative research stage, which is the research that you do at the beginning of your campaign, this will help you understand a lot of things about your publics and about your issues so that you don't waste any time or money. A lot of people try to gloss over the research portion and end up doing more work than they need to or spending more money than they need to. If they would have just done the research to inform the campaign, they could have saved those aspects. So research will give you a better understanding in the environment in which you are operating. You have two types of research. You have secondary research and primary research. Let's start with secondary research. Secondary research is data that someone else has collected. This is wonderful because it will save you time, it will save you money. You may have a better sample of people available to the secondary research report. They may have increased reliability. You have, in many cases, no need to reinvent the wheel. There are some cases where it's useful to understand how a large population might be doing a particular thing or using a particular tool. For example, social media. Do we really need to spend $40,000 or more to understand how young people might be using social media to make health decisions? Probably not when you know that there's a wonderful report out there from Pew Internet and American Life who has done all of the work for you. And so you'll see that when you're dealing with a large population and you just want to know in general how they behave, how they use a particular tool, or how they feel about a certain issue, then secondary research may be one of your best friends in this. Of course, you can't add any questions to the research, or you can't make those people come out and ask your particular target publics, and so you are a little bit limited with secondary research. So that's why we also have primary research. Primary research is the research that you, as the practitioner, are going to do. You are creating and designing the research instrument as well as doing all of the analysis for your particular campaign. You're often going to do this to inform your campaign or create a baseline measure for your campaign. So you might, to inform your campaign, say, start with interviews or focus groups with key target publics or perhaps influencers. You might do a focus group to understand how a particular group thinks about your issue, what they know about your issue, what they don't know about your issue, what they want to know about your issue. There's a number of different pieces in this type of research that can really help inform your messaging as well as tell you where you are as a practitioner and as a campaign. Both focus groups and interviews are called qualitative research. They're very time-consuming and very expensive, but the data set is extremely rich. You can find out a lot of information from the qualitative research. You may also choose to do, as primary research, a survey or an experiment. A survey is a great way to create a baseline pre-campaign read of where you are with your target audiences on a certain issue or how they feel about your organization as a whole. So when you do a survey, of course, you need to survey the target publics that you hope to reach with your campaign. It doesn't do you any good to create a survey and put it on Facebook and have your friends take it when your friends are not your target public. So make sure that when you deploy your survey that you are using as rigorous of sampling methods as you can. So you're going to want to measure concepts like knowledge or attitude or behavior through a survey. This is one reason why formative research is so often tied to your impact objectives. That said, attitudes are super hard to measure. You can't just make up a series of questions without testing them because you need to understand that there is reliability and validity. If you just make up questions, then they may not be reliable and valid. And so you can't trust the data that you receive when you just make up questions. But don't worry, there are tried and true measures out there that other people have literally cracked the code for on understanding these complex attitudes and other types of concepts. And so when you're looking for one, all you have to do is go to, say, a scales handbook or measures handbook to try to find the concept that you're investigating and reword the questions a little bit. Let's go ahead and do one with my marketing scales handbook here. So there is a scale in here about opinion leadership. So if I have an objective that I'm going to increase opinion leadership about my particular issue or my organization by 5% over a 6-month period, then this scale will help me create that baseline understanding of where people are, and then of course I do my campaign, and then I come back and I ask these very same questions. So this is the Childers 1986 Opinion Leadership Scale, and it says on a scale of 1 to 5, very often to never, in general, how often do you talk to your friends and neighbors about, and then I could insert my issue, or I could insert my client name, organization there. When you talk to your friends and neighbors about whatever, do you 5 give a great deal of information, or 1 give very little information? During the past 6 months, how many people have you told about whatever it is? 5, I told a number of people. 1, I told no one, and so on and so forth. So I take this scale, which is actually written about cable news, and I reword it to match my issue or my campaign topic. So that's one example. Another example that we have here is in a different communication research measures book, and this particular scale deals with credibility and in particular trustworthiness. And so if I want to increase the perception or the feeling of trustworthiness that people have in my organization, I can first off determine how trustworthy we are to our publics through this scale, and then do some sort of a campaign that influences trustworthiness, and then come back and ask these same questions later. So this is from Measures of Source Credibility. It looks like the McCroskey scale originally, and so it's a semantic differential scale where you have one word over here and another word over here, and people have to determine where and how close to each word their feeling is. And so let's say that we're talking about your feelings about San Diego State University. So how honest or dishonest do you believe SDSU is as an organization? If you believe they're honest, then you're going to circle a number closer to the word honest. How untrustworthy or trustworthy do you believe SDSU is as an organization? If you believe they're trustworthy, you're going to circle a number that's closer to the word trustworthy. Honorable, dishonorable, moral, immoral, unethical, ethical, phony, genuine, so on and so forth. And so this gives you an idea of how you can take existing measures, which they have them for everything, attitude, support, word of mouth, whatever it is you're looking for. There are measures that have already been tested and are valid and reliable to help you with that. And so you take these measures and then you put them into your survey. So this is just the basic piece of research and some approaches that you can take in this first step in the 4-step PR campaigns process. Obviously, you are going to want to use the research to inform your campaign, but the research can also create that baseline for you to come back to measure the success of your campaign. And so that was the R in RPIE, and I hope you have a wonderful campaign. Good luck.